All right, now I'm going to show you guys how we're going to go out there and find these good product opportunities. And there's kind of two ways. So we're going to first go and, look at what's in our head, our ideas, or, whatever pops up to us out of the ether, and then kind of show you guys how to navigate around. And then we'll show you some tools that are going to really help you expand your knowledge. And find opportunities that you never really would have thought of. All right, so first we're going to look at markets you can think of off the top of your head, and we'll go look at the very first market that I thought of off the top of my head when I got started on private label, and it's actually still a really good opportunity to go into. I'm surprised nobody after 2+ years still has not done this or gone in here, so let's go take a look at that. All right, this was the first market that I thought of when I went into private label, and I actually made a product around this. It was an 80/20 wristband, and essentially what I had thought of was, I like motivational wristbands, and I believe that every product should have a purpose. So I want to be reminded of good quotes to help me stay positive, if times ever get hard or just, in general. I think I'm actually going to get a tattoo of the 80/20 principle on here, but nonetheless, if we look here, essentially what we're able to do is just put in the keyword, and then what we do is we use viral launch. And so this is the viral launch Chrome extension if you're not aware, and this will tell us the sales of every single product. So I just want to show you guys how the Chrome extension works here and explain it, because it can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's a very valuable tool if you know how to use it. So originally when you get it, they will give you all of these columns. And there's so much in here, but a lot of it isn't important unless you need to know it. You can add it back in. So these are the columns that I end up using actually, okay? So what I'll go ahead and explain each one of these. And I will also explain the top right. So this is a product idea score. This kind of tells you if it's a good product opportunity to go into. It's not always right. It's always interesting to take a look at though, but that's not what we're analyzing based off of, because it can be misleading. The motivational wristbands right here, this tells us the amount of keywords. So this is pulling data directly from Amazon and telling us how many people are looking up that word, motivational wristbands. So exact means people typing in exactly motivational wristbands. And then broad means you could be typing in alpaca motivational wristbands, or something that's extremely similar to motivational wristbands. So that's what that is. And this is always nice to know, just because if you're analyzing a market that only has 10 searches a month, there's not really a market. Okay, that's just, there's only 10 people looking for that a month. So you want, we'll tell you more about keywords later, but you just want that to be, more than 100. So just know that now. If it's like there's no words, don't go for it. Essentially now what we have is, obviously on the left right there is the ranking on Amazon on the page for this keyword. And now we have BSR 30. This is a little confusing, but it's actually really easy. BSR right here, this stands for best sellers rank. So Amazon basically tells you a BSR for every product. That's the only data that Amazon gives us. And this is actually how these tools figure out how many are selling. So they have algorithms going on in the back end. But anyways, the bestsellers rank is opposite. So if something has a bestsellers rank of 1, that means it is the best seller in that category. There's like 20 categories on Amazon. So 1 is good, 1,000,000 is bad, because that's the 1,000,000th worst or best product selling on Amazon. So essentially, what we can look for here is how consistent have the sales been. So essentially, these aren't too big of fluctuations in the rank here, but this kind of shows like, hey, they went out of stock there. So this is important to look at, but not very important. Basically, you just want to see how long have they been selling for, and have they been selling consistently. So this shows that they've been selling consistently unless when they've gone out of stock. Okay, so we can go into that more later, but that's just generally what to know about that. And then that also is the date listed on the right here. So you could tell, okay, has this been selling for a while? So you look at the date listed and the BSR, and you could essentially see like this, okay, this has been making money for a while versus if it was just alive for 5 days. So monthly revenue is the main one we're going to look at here. Whenever I look at a market, I look for the keywords. So, are people actually looking for this? And then I look at monthly revenue. Okay, so now, okay, there's money going through this market. Is it the largest home run market? No, but there's revenue coming through here. And then what I will do is look at price. So what I can do here is look at the price. And this will tell me over time, they never change their price. That's okay. That's good to know. Some products will change their price. Like look at this one. It changes price up and down. It looks like they were testing, and perhaps this was the best price that they found. So that's just kind of nice to know. Sales. So you know how we saw that BSR earlier? Now the sales will tell you, okay, this is how many sales they've been doing over time. So how many sales per day? So essentially, right there, July 4th, they're doing 8. Okay, so you get a good tell on how many sales per day people are doing. Okay, then review rating right here, obviously just ranks the review rating, and then the review quantity right there. It'll tell you, you could kind of see over time how many reviews. So this one has been, so what's kind of interesting about this product is, I mean, they've not had that many reviews ever. Okay, they got one a year ago, and then, they just are slowly trickling in. But if we take a look at their sales, they've been selling. Look, they were selling back when they didn't have that many reviews. They were still selling. So that's a good indicator to us. They're not getting many reviews, and they're still selling consistently. So that's kind of something I am looking out for. And so that's just an overview of the tool. But if you're just wondering, just is there money there? Like we look at the monthly revenue, that's something to look at. And then these are other ones if you're just kind of wondering a little bit more about that product, okay? So now what I kind of do is, as we're looking through here, earlier we talked about self-expression versus utilitarian markets. So this one is obviously self-expression in my opinion, because as long as this thing is good, it doesn't give you rashes, people are choosing what quotes that they believe in the most. And my mistake here was I didn't really look at the reviews and see who were buying these. So I made a motivational wristband that I thought I would like, which was the 80-20 principle. But here's the other thing. What we'll do is we go and look at the product, okay? So when we click on this and we read the reviews, this is where we go now to find, like we said, we want to find ways to improve the product and make a variation or something that that is not made yet. So we can take a look at this. So here's another thing to look out for. Like, this is not a very good description. These pictures are not the best. We look right there. This isn't even rendered. It's so fuzzy. And these designs, I mean, you could have paid someone $10 to make these or made them yourself after watching a YouTube video. And so this looks like something I could easily compete in and still could. Now, as we scroll down here, so you want to look at reviews in a market. So this is neat. We found one where personal expression, or where we found one where self-expression was important. Now we go and look at the reviews. And these are nice quality, and the messages on them are cute. See, they obviously like the quotes. They put them around Hydro Flask water bottles. Interesting. The kids love them. So it says the kids love having their own inspirational message. So someone is giving this to kids. So this is where you get an idea of, okay, motivational wristbands. I thought, oh, people like me are buying these. But as we dig in deeper here, my students were so excited. Who's leaving the reviews here? It looks like probably teachers. Everybody's talking about kids or maybe people at schools or whatnot. Now, here it says nice, but wish they were a little bigger. What else is there here? Good quality, love them. 2 each, just in case you break them. Okay, really small, not like standard wristbands. So you can get a hint here that this is teachers buying these for kids, and they wish they were bigger and didn't break. As expected, good quality. So some people are happy with this, some not. So perhaps what we could do here is go in and make ones for teachers that have better quotes, better designs, and are a little bit thicker. This is just how I initially start to analyze and gather ideas. And then the other thing is as well, this person has a product that is selling, okay? And it's selling. So here's the thing that else we can do. Now that we've found someone, or even if, you're just kind of generally curious, well, this person has made a product that's selling and making money, and it doesn't cost much to make. They're just these like 40-cent, 30-cent wristbands. What we do now is we take a look at them. So we click there. So it says buy Inkstone. So we're going to click on here. And now we're going to see this seller. Or the other way, alternatively to, on Amazon is you go over to the right-hand side. This is what's called a seller storefront. So if we would have looked up Inkstone, that would have brought us to the brand. But if it was the brand was Nike, there's a lot of people selling those and a lot of products. But this will bring you to the actual person that's selling it in case you are on a product that's not private label. But here's the key. We want to find people who are private label sellers because that's what we're trying to do. So now we go here. Here's their page as overall. And now you can see their products. So we click products. Now what we can do here is we can see all the things that they sell. And then now what we can do is see everything that this Amazon seller sells by clicking the Chrome extension here. And now we're just looking at him. And you can see that here's a key. The key to success on Amazon long-term is finding a market where you can build a lot of products for. And we'll talk about that later. But when you're finding your first product, don't be too focused on having to know exactly where you're going to build out all your products. That's just something for longer term. So we can see here that this seller is $4,000 a month on that, $5,000 or $4,500. So if we start adding all of this up, they have a lot of successful products here. Now, are they home runs? No, but this is success on Amazon in my eyes for a beginner. So, I mean, I had my exponential success, but I like a lot of singles. You know, home runs are hard to get and they take a lot of work. But if you find these markets where you are able to, go out, and this is the perfect just example of self-expression, because look, they're literally finding all these ways to cut and slice a wristband. So they found one wristband supplier, and now they're finding all these different markets where people want to express themselves differently, and they're making, if I were to just quickly add this up, I've already done the math, and they're making about 50% margin on these because these are really, so what that means is essentially if the price is $18, a margin of 50, so essentially it says 12 there in Viral Launch, by the way, but it's actually, that's before unit cost and shipping. So essentially 50% margin. So, I mean, that means they're making $2,000 a month there, $2,200, $1,000, that's already $5,000. That's $60,000 a year just on their top 3 products. And what are those even? They are just soccer motivational wristbands, volleyball motivational wristbands, and Bible verses. Like, you could have done that in a day. All right. I'm so surprised nobody's taken this guy and done this. Anyways, I digress. Now we've gone in, and this is the technique. So you put in ideas that you can think of, and then you can kind of dig in on their products, and you'll start to, you can kind of go back and forth like that, but you might run into some ruts and not have the best ideas. So what I suggest for beginners is going and using a tool like Viral Launch, and that's the one that I suggest because they enable us to see the amount of sales, and they allow us to do a lot more and find ideas that meet our criteria. And then instead of like trying to think of ideas and then hoping that they meet our criteria, we can go the opposite way. So I'll show you guys how to do that by just putting the criteria you want and finding products that meet that. We're in the Viral Launch Discovery tool now, and I should give you guys a little tour of how it works. So on the side here, they have this thing called Product Discovery, and that's the one that is going to allow us to put in our criteria and then shows us products that meet that criteria. They have Market Intelligence here, which is just the Chrome extension, but in a more simplified way, and it's just much easier to use and analyze than the Chrome extension on the Amazon website. And then we have the keyword research here, where essentially we're going to be able to expand on words. So you have an idea of a word for a market. It'll show you all the other words that are related to that market, and then how much search volume that there is for all those words. So you might not have the highest volume word, and there might be another word or similar words, and that's a big expansive. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to quickly illustrate. So the product discovery shows us products that meet our product criteria, and then they also have the product discovery where you can look up keywords. And then that will show us, kind of bigger parts of Amazon that all the products on the page meet that criteria. And I'll go and show you guys how we use that. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, we're hopping into product discovery here, give you a little tour. So this at the top, you can look for a product. Over here, you can look for a keyword. Here you could look up a brand. This is a bit more advanced, but essentially like we just looked at Inkstone, that brand earlier, you can essentially find brands here. This is a more difficult tool. I don't suggest people use this in the beginning. It took me a while to learn how to use it. It is extremely powerful, but if you don't know what you're doing, it is useless. So just stick to the product and the keyword. Categories can also be interesting, but yet again, that's more advanced. You'll learn how to use that earlier, but you can find so much with just product and keyword. So we'll stick to that. So what does this tool do exactly? So essentially, this is a database of Amazon, but now we can sort it by what we want, instead of hoping and putting in words and hoping they meet what we want. So we could choose just the categories. I'm going to quickly just choose office products because business to business is actually very underserved. And if you have not seen my setup yet, I'm an office geek and I like to just find products in office. Now, what else we could do here is start to sort it by the, don't put an ASIN for if you're just a beginner, monthly sales. So this would be the number of units sold, price, revenue. So essentially, you know how we said earlier, you need there to be money, but you don't want there to be too much money. So essentially $3,000 to $10,000. A quick note, on Amazon, you could expect to make about 1/3 of the sales per month. So essentially, if something's selling for $10,000 a month in revenue, you could expect that the profits would be about $3,000 a month. And then that's going to be something that's doable by a beginner. If you put in $100,000 a month, people get all jacked and they go after pet gloves, but they don't have the money to do it and they don't differentiate. So what we do then here, show the products. This will show us products. Then there's other things that we can do over here in the advanced filters. Don't do that at very first. If you're feeling frisky, go for it. But I like to keep it simple just to start going on ideas. And then when you have an idea, maybe open the advanced filter and put in one feature. Okay, so seat cushion, I'm not too interested in that. Was this a pancake? You had one job. That's actually pretty funny. Craft a holder for scissors. I never really would have thought of that. Tape dispensers, sticky notes, Post-it. That probably just sells well because it's the Post-it brand, which is a criteria we'll talk about later. But essentially, you don't want to go try to sell Nike shoes because it's Nike. People want Nike, and you can't just make Nike shoes. Let's see this. So here's an interesting one. This is a Christian planner. So what we could do is we could click here and see it on Amazon, or we could go here and see it on Viral Launch, or we could click here and we could save it if we wanted to save this as a product. Now, I never would have thought of Christian planners. That's interesting, but apparently people are buying it. So if we go ahead and look at this on Amazon first. All right, we're on Amazon now. We can see this product. Let me click on this. So we could go ahead and then pull up the Chrome extension, or what we were doing on Viral Launch there, we had pulled it up in Market Intelligence. So if you didn't want such a messy view, you could see it here. And essentially what we can see is, we could see the monthly sales there. And they just launched this a couple of weeks ago, and it's starting to take off and is selling, how many is this selling? 10, 12 a day now. So they just launched this. It doesn't have any reviews. And so yeah, I never really would have thought of Christian planners. So I would want to now go look into this market. So I saw one product. Now, what is the market? Essentially, what we can do now is go back to Viral Launch and put this in the keyword research tool. So now we determined it was a Christian planner. So we want to see other ones. Or we could go to Amazon and type in Christian planner too. We'll go actually do that first. So we type in Christian planner into Amazon because we don't want to just see one product. We want to see all the products for that. Okay, so we've clicked on this on Viral Launch and there doesn't seem to be too much revenue here, but this is where it's important to kind of dig a bit deeper. So if we could see here, we could see that there's 2.7 thousand searches. So there is searches there. So what we could do now is go to the market trends, okay? And what we can see is that while sales might not be that high right now, at the average, so this basically is just telling us the average on the first page. How many sales are those products on average doing? So right now it's dead, 12. But last year, whoa, it looks like they picked up quite a bit and they sold really well in July and August. That's interesting. I have no idea why. But now you have an idea of what the market is. So this is where we're able to just kind of look and come up with ideas and get more information about these. So let's say we now have the idea of a Christian planner. I went into office products, it met my criteria, and apparently there's a market for Christian planners. So if we put it into keyword research like I just did here, now we're able to see other words just like that. And we can sort it by the amount of searches on the Amazon algorithm. So now planners, well, there's a whole lot of planners apparently. 2018 monthly planners, weekly planners. Okay, so you start getting ideas of the different types of markets. Just what are the columns here? Just quickly. Essentially, they're relevancy is like how relevant is this to that keyword you put in. The higher the relevancy, the more close it is to what you typed in. And yeah, so there's that. And then the opportunity score is basically the higher the opportunity score means there's less people competing for that product or for this word comparatively to how many are selling. You don't need to know that, but just know that a higher opportunity score can mean it's better, but it doesn't mean like you should go after it by any means. It's just kind of something interesting to look into. So they also have these bids. You can also kind of see what it would cost per click if you were to run an ad on it. And that's just a general idea. So just kind of interesting to see. So as we're going here, we're able to find new words that are related to that. So a pocket calendar. I would have never particularly thought of a pocket calendar. A life planner. Ooh, I do like life planners because I think a lot of people should think about what they're actually doing in life and why they're doing it. So like you guys should be. I hope that you guys understand why you're taking this and what you're hoping to get out of this, and that whatever that is that I hope that you guys make that and that it happens. 18-month planner. Okay, that's interesting. I've never thought a mom planner. All right, moms need different planners than because they got to take after kids like me. So I'm still a kid at heart. Christian planner. So a 2019 Christian planner. So you'll start to get these ideas. Now what we'll do is we'll go back over to the product discovery. And I just wanted to show you. So this was keywords we found. I'll just draw it for you. So we found a product on Amazon that met our criteria, and then we expand out the words, and then we kind of see like, are there any good ideas similar to, and this is all gathering. So, you can save them in Viral Launch and analyze, see what the sales are. And in this phase, we're just in gathering. So I want to show you guys another way that we could go gather ideas. Back in product discovery, we go to the keyword now. So instead of finding just one product, now we will start to find markets, because I didn't mention this, but in products, sometimes you find one-hit wonders. But then when you go and look at the product, actually like this, seat cushions is a very competitive market. And so that'll be the downfall. When you're using the products, you find good products sometimes, but you also find some duds that are going to be more competitive. So while this seat cushion might be doing good and has low reviews and is doing pretty well on sales, if we were to actually go and it's like, wow, look, he's crushing it, this might be because he has a brand or just has a lot of money to do giveaways or is like kind of manipulating the algorithm. We're not trying to play that game, because if we go into this, if we look up a seat cushion, while it is leather, if we look at these, I don't know how I'm really going to make a better seat cover. It's pretty utilitarian here. Maybe some form of choice, but look at these review numbers. I feel like this with reviews are actually pretty important when it comes to these, because how good is this actually at lifting your bum off the seat and keeping you nice and comfy. So this would be a tough market where you need a lot of resources to compete. As we look at this, I mean, that's a lot of money. $241,000 a month is you need a lot of units just to sell and compete here. So this is not a beginner market. So on this page, everybody was doing really high revenue. That means you need a lot of money to compete. So how would we find a market where everybody's doing in our range that we're looking for? That's where you use the product discovery, but we would go on the keyword now. So that would then have the whole average of all the products on the first page in our range. That's where you're going to be able to find that. So I really like the keyword tool as well. But I use both the product and the keyword. So you could look up a keyword phrase and put in some word, like if you wanted to look up for kits, you could look up a kit and then, or, you know, a container or whatever, and then find keywords that are doing your revenue that you are looking for, and match all your criteria. Or you could just not do a keyword if you have no idea. So we could just have it no keyword, and we could go back into office products now. Not sure why that just popped out. So we could go back into office products, and then the average monthly revenue to 3,000 to 10,000. Actually, I would probably go a little bit lower here to about 7,000, 3,000 to 7,000, because sometimes there's someone who's selling 50,000 on a page, and you know, that's gonna be harder to compete with. So if I go 3,000 to 7,000, that's going to, yeah, you could test for yourself and just see, but I think this would be show us more beginner ones. All right, so here with the keyword tool, we're just gonna go 3,000 to 7,000. We could show a keyword match if we wanted to show all words that said like a kit or a container, or we could look up everything with Barney, but that's probably not gonna show much. Anyways, office products would be the category, and now we'll see keywords. So this is a easier way to find markets versus products, and we could start to look at this. As we're searching here now, we see keyring squared notebooks. I've never heard of that. I might look into that. Locker stuff. Okay, interesting. I'm going to look at, so there's also the average number of reviews. The lower reviews, the easier it is to compete, but the average number of sales is not high here. You see, so this must be a really expensive market, so that's not good. So maybe I would go back in and, you know, kind of limit the price to $75 there. What we're seeing is here, so a reading rod, while it may look good, it's only got 30 searches there if we look. So that's not good. That's not very many searches, as we've talked about. Blue Sky Planner, that sounds like a brand to me. So we could just start to get ideas, like the desk pad calendar. I know that's a good idea. I was going to do those this year, but I decided not to. I decided to focus a lot of my time on this course instead. But that's a market, a table tent, laying calendar, office products. What else do we have here? Geometric shaped blocks, office organizer, Walmart, divider sticky notes. That's interesting. So we could just start to, you know, kind of expand out. A protractor classroom set. I mean, I don't think anybody's too focused on a brand there. So you could just start to see there's a lot of opportunities here, and I don't want to go on too long here, but you can definitely see that as we go on here, there's a lot of ways to expand our mind. There's a lot of ways to expand our mind and find new product ideas that we haven't thought of. And it's just, you know, it's all about expanding. Don't be too limiting right now. Just kind of focus and get your mind flowing. And then in the next video, once you've gathered ideas, we'll kind of, you know, okay, do we actually go after this? But don't limit your creativity. Start having some fun and seeing what you can do. So if you watch at this point, you're thinking about starting your Amazon business, most likely. And what I've learned, and I can tell you from all my business things, it's kind of, you go and you learn and you get ideas, but ideas just kind of come through our heads if we don't take action, then the information just gets lost or becomes irrelevant, or we get overwhelmed and then we don't take action. And the most action that I found through my Amazon business, through literally everything that I've done, it's about going out, taking action, and getting feedback. So we get ideas and then is that good or not? And then it's just this iteration over time. So now I want to ask you guys to go get at least 5 product ideas before the next video. If we continue to just go and watch and think about getting product ideas someday, then it never happens. If you go and start and find just 5 ideas, they don't even need to make it, just go get some ideas and start to go analyze and dig down and see, why is a product good? Why is a market good? Or like, what are the possibilities? That's going to be the most beneficial thing than going and watching other videos. Now, what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to show you guys how to analyze if this is actually a good idea to go after. We'll show you some ideas that are, good, and some ideas that are probably not the best. And that's going to be what we're going to do. All right, hey, I am in Minnesota and giving an update to this video. So you guys are going to be needing to get a tool now to get the data, because we need to know exactly how much things are selling to make an educated decision. Now, we're going to need to get a product research tool and a sales estimator now. This is the most important part, and every single Amazon seller has this. You need to know what things are selling. There's lots of tools and things that you can go out and buy and to build your business, and I'm always a fan of buying machines and tools instead of people, because they're pretty accurate. But this is the only tool that's truly required to be a seller. Is you need to know the data. So that's what we're going to use. There's two options. There's Viral Launch and there is Helium 10. Okay. So you're going to be able to choose which one you want, and we'll have a little post, little text post showing you the best deal on those and your options. Basically, what we want to do is get a sales estimator, which is a Chrome extension, which allows us to see how much a product is selling. Okay. We also want to be getting whatever plan you choose with each one. Make sure you're getting the keyword data, because we would need to know not only how much our product's selling, but we need to know the keywords, because we've identified that those are markets. A product will sell through many keywords. So we need to know if there's only one search a month and all those things are selling a lot, it might look like a good market to go into, but you realize, oh wait, that's not a market. There's only one person looking a month. So you need to get the keyword data, and you need a sales estimator. So when we know how much something is selling, like a product is selling, we know, hey, this is getting a lot of sales. Then if we use keyword tools, we can see, oh, here's where the volume and the people are looking. Okay. And then that's all great. And then we also, both of the tools will have methods to search through keywords and find markets. And they'll also have ability to find products. So if you find a product that sells through keywords, or you can find keywords and then find the products on there. So those are the two types of methods. We're going to be using Viral Launch in the one that we've recorded like this, but either tool, Helium 10 or Viral Launch, will work better. I like Helium 10. It has more features, but it's not as beautiful user interface. Viral Launch does have a nicer user interface. It can be easier to use, but you're going to have to go ahead and make your own choice. I believe at the time of this recording, we have a 50% discount for Helium 10, and then there is a 15% off lifetime for Viral Launch. So we'll compare the plans in the next post, and you guys can make a decision for yourself, but this is the one thing that is required. So go ahead and get that, and then go get some ideas now that you know what to look for. And yeah, look forward to seeing the next video, and hope you guys find some cool ideas. Oh yeah, some people might be wondering about Jungle Scout. I forgot to mention them. Read the post. We will make it clear of our opinions and thoughts on that. The most important thing is here, don't get into analysis paralysis. And also the other tools other than that, I don't suggest any of them, because the accuracy of their data it's not accurate, and you need to have an accurate sales tool. So those are the only three that I know of and trust. I know the CEOs of all of them, very great people. Their tools are all good, and we have a pretty clear decision matrix for you guys in the next post. So hope you guys enjoy, and on to the next video.